Hey everyone, today I'm gonna be sharing my UI/UX journey about how I built my career as a self-taught designer. If you just started your career in design or planning to start, my story can be helpful for you. So without further ado, let's get started. So I started my career as a front-end developer, but later I decided to teach myself a visual design because at that time there was a good work demand of landing page design or website design. So I was keen to learn it. So I started with learning the basics. Yes, being honest, like all the other people, I kick off with searching in Google, opening new tabs, and searching some beginner's tutorial on YouTube. But the problem is, there are a lot of information and I didn't know where do I start from. So what I did is I looked for fundamentals of UX design and I start reading, watching to learn more about it. Once I understand the basic, I dig into what is the process of designing. Now this is where still I am. Learning the process even after being in UX UI design for so many years. When I just began, I couldn't realize most of this process. I mean, in the design process, there are a lot of things to learn. Strategy building, research, analysis, wireframing, design, user testing. So beside understanding all those steps, I started only in UI design instead of all the UX design process. For those who don't know, UI and UX design is not same. UI is all about visual design. On the other side, UX is the combination of multiple steps to make the product more user-friendly. Now that's the whole different topic to explain on UI versus UX design, which I will be covering on another video. So make sure you subscribe. So after getting the idea about the basic and the process, I started to learn the design tools. Back on those days, we didn't have dedicated UI software. So many designers, including me, used to work on Photoshop and Illustrator to design. If you have already visited my other design, you may have noticed a video designing on Photoshop. But now we have the UI dedicated design application like Figma, Adobe XD and so on. So I started learning the basics like how to use the tools, using colors, how to create different shapes. The idea is to learn the basic of using the tools. After understanding the design tools, I started to learn how to design a website or simple landing page. Now this stage helped me to know how to design a simple landing page or creating a whole website. But that's not enough. I need to learn to be a good UI designer. So the strategy I followed was, well, caution. This strategy may not be appreciated by everyone, but I'm sharing what I did. So the strategy is simply downloaded some of the good UI design and started to copy pixel by pixel to reproduce the whole design. Now you might be wondering, what was the benefit? The moment I started to do it actually helped me to develop my eye for good design. It was the same thing learning a new language beside your native language. Instead of focusing on grammar, you need to focus more on speaking on that language. So the more I copy all those great design, the better I started to understand the color, layout, even help to build a sense of which is good design and which is bad design. So you can consider it as a hack. But beside this, I try to learn how to choose color, typography, design hierarchy, and many more. After developing this skill, I started to create my own new concept, like landing page for sales, portfolio site, design agency site, and many more. The concept designs together helped me to build my own portfolio and started my career as a UI designer. At first, I applied to my local companies, but none of them replied back to me. But besides applying, I started to trying some small project in different marketplaces like Upwork or People Per Hour. At that time, we had Elance and Odex, which is now combined as an Upwork. And guess what? After so many attempts, finally I got projects on UI design. Now, When you are in technology industry, there is no way you can stop studying and continue only in the job with your same skill. You need to grow more skill with it because technology is changing rapidly. So to continue my story, at that stage I started to get paid for UI design work, doing landing page, website design, and sometimes mobile application. Beside my regular work, I started learning more about UX design process and apply those steps into my project. I started practicing user research, customer journey map, analysis, wireframing, and before jumping into any visual design work, the goal is to understand the user base, business objective, and make the product more user-friendly. So to summarize my story, learn the basic first, understand the UX process, familiar with design tools, build my skill around good design and create a portfolio to improve over time. And then learn more about UX design. As you can see in my story, I started with UI design and moved more toward UX design. But in your case, you might find UX process more interesting and easier for you. Alright, that's all for this video, and if you have any question or any suggestion about my next design topic, please comment below and do not forget to subscribe and hit that notification to get more update about my next video. Thank you so much for watching.